Where is every character from in Marvel Rivals? Let's go through the roster and see which superhero teams are most represented. The Mutants and X-Men claim the biggest chunk of the roster with 10 playable characters. Even among this collection, they're not all from the same dimension. Most notably, Psylocke is from feudal Japan, and was brought here by the time stream entanglement. The rest aren't necessarily from the same dimension either. For example, Storm and Magic are from different dimensions.
Who taught you that?
You did, Aurora. A different you, a different place.
We're definitely going to see mutants continue to fill out the roster, and it seems likely that one of those will be Cyclops, since he's already been shown. There are many Avengers on the roster too, but again, they're not all from the same timeline. For example, Black Widow and Hawkeye are from different timelines.
I know you're not the Natasha from my timeline, but
This Captain America wasn't unfrozen until the 2080s, and this version of Ultron is also from the future. We also get this line from Scarlet Witch talking to Rogue about Magneto.
In my dimension, you and he were romantically entwined.
It's unclear whether the dimensional division is between Scarlet Witch and Magneto, or Magneto and Rogue. They're certainly going to add more Avengers to the roster, and one of those that seems most certain is Ant-Man, considering that they're testing out the Pym particles in Times Square. We got 5 of the Guardians of the Galaxy on release, and it seems likely that we'll get more, namely Drax and Gamora. We got the entire Fantastic Four all in one season back in Season 1, but we probably won't be getting any other full teams like this again. There are now 4 Asgardian gods on the roster, including Thor a second time. They could pull more new characters from here, but probably not for many seasons. We have 3 characters from the Spider-Verse, and it does seem like Spider-Man and Venom are from the same dimension, while Penny is from a different timeline. I think we'll continue to get new content from the Spider-Verse, but unfortunately, a lot of that'll probably come in the form of skins, and not unique playable characters. The last kind of team that I want to talk about is the Defenders, and there have been many iterations of this team, but I'm talking about the most recent version, with Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones. Now, we already have 2 of those characters, but they're not the versions that we're most familiar with. Our Daredevil left Hell's Kitchen and has become the guardian of the mystical 8th city, and then our Iron Fist used to be the Swordmaster, but when he got his chi from the dragon Sholau, he also had the broken shards of his sword embedded into his arms. I think it would be really fun if we got the other 2 Defenders, but we kept up the pattern of getting unexpected versions. So give us Jessica Jones, but give us Jewel, or give us Luke Cage, but give us a version of Power Man that we've never seen before. The rest of the roster doesn't fit neatly into one superhero team or another. They've certainly been on some of these teams in the past, but I don't strongly associate them together. So like Cloak and Dagger, they got their start in Spider-Man, but they've also ran with the X-Men before as well. Both Doctor Strange and Black Panther have been associated with the Avengers and the Illuminati, but I'd argue that they're best known for their standalone appearances. As Moon Knight himself will admit, he used to be an Avenger.
Yeah, but it didn't last long, and I burned my ID card.
He's also better known as a standalone hero. The Punisher is an anti-hero that frequently has run-ins with other New York-based superheroes, like the Defenders, like Spider-Man, but again, he's really more of a lone wolf. Squirrel Girl is literally a joke. She's a gag character that has seemingly low-level powers, but consistently beats cosmic-level threats, and usually off-screen. Now that translates to the game in her having a very basic kit of squirrel-based abilities, but talking loudly and repeatedly about how she beats people like Thanos and Galactus, and we just have to take her word for it. Blade is another character that's flirted with the Avengers, but is mostly known for his standalone work. Luna Snow is an interesting one, and one that some might call an industry plant. She was first made for the video game Marvel Future Fight, and since then she's made appearances in other media like comics. She was on the team Agents of Atlas with this Iron Fist, so I could have grouped them together, but really, Luna is most known as a video game character. Finally, there's Jeff the Landshark. He got his start with the West Coast Avengers, but since then he has had some standalone titles. I think it would be interesting for the game to explore more of the West Coast superheroes, people like America Chavez and the Runaways, and put a little bit less focus on New York City. Looking ahead to Season 6, we're going to get Deadpool and Elsa Bloodstone, who are both more standalone characters, which really makes me think that in Season 7, we'll revisit some of these more familiar superhero teams and start filling them out. I'm interested to hear what you think of this breakdown of the roster. Did I miss any connections from Marvel canon or from the Rivals lore specifically? I'll admit that I'm not 100% well read, on the in-game lore or the Rivals comics. So please let me know in the comments if there's anything that I missed.